Hello, beautiful people. I felt called to pull some tarot today, and yet it's from decks that I haven't touched for a really long time, so I feel like that in itself is a message. I did clear the space, burned a little bit of sage and Palo Santo just to refresh this energy. It's like blowing off the dust. So maybe there's something that you are also going to be dusting off and returning back to. And it's interesting because, let me grab those, I wasn't ready. Oh, Ten of Cups flew out. And let's see. I'm not going to take these, but I mean, Ten of Cups and the Knight of Wands did come out. Let's see what else. The decks that I chose that I haven't really used for a while is the Goddess Oracle deck, as well as a very special deck that I don't even know the name of, but it's very mythical. So I'm feeling a lot of ethereal vibes, old, something very ancient that is coming to the surface. And it's almost like, why am I hearing like tapping into a past life? Let's see what comes up though. Maybe there's an ancient pattern that's finally coming to an end. Wow, these cards are very slippery. Let's do a little more shuffling just to really get the new energy in, even though this deck seems excited to be used again. So maybe there's something that you I don't want to say neglected, but yeah, and it's been a while, and you know, maybe there's this shame around it, and yet it's Spirit is asking you to focus on the excitement of rediscovering whatever this thing might be, whether it be a friend, an idea, a career, even a hobby, just something that, yeah, you had previously walked away from because you were trying to be logical and, I don't know where these side messages are coming from, but let's take a look at what the Goddess Tarot deck, thank you, Spirit. Eight of Swords reversed, and I love how that flipped kind of erratically because it's showing me, yeah, Four of Cups. You've been having to be in this secluded mental space. It's so strange because it's like you've been so busy going back and forth in your head, thinking the worst, and yet Spirit is saying once you stop that cycle of the anxious round thoughts, you are able to finally open your eyes and see the opportunities that surround you. It's almost as though you're afraid to even look at your other options because you feel like, what's the point? Your back is turned from the mountains here in the distance because it's so far out. What's the point? And yet, what if this cup, this opportunity, is a boat to get you across safely? Movement. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's time to move. It's you've given yourself time to kind of pause these anxious thoughts, but don't stay in them. Yeah, new beginnings. Wow. Sorry, I got too excited. Wow, those just slipped out everywhere. Okay. Then I do keep seeing the Ten of Swords. Judgment. Let me gather these. Wow, yeah, a bunch flew out, but I'm not going to take those. I think, as I mentioned, the energy is just so erratic. I'm almost tempted to, let's just do this. since the energy wants to be crazy. So maybe that's a message in itself too, is look at that. Four of Wands. Is instead of shuffling through different ideas and just kind of panicking, it's about making deliberate decisions and just making a choice. Contemplation, yeah, there's been so much contemplation. Back and forth, and I think it's the back and forth that is driving you into this wormhole. What is this? This is number 9 or 11? I'll have to figure out what that is. 7 of Wands, standing on business. Let's get one more. It's kind of, yeah, believing in yourself and having peace with the choices that you make, regardless of how they come across to others. 6 of Swords, going into calmer waters. Movement, moving. You have to, you gotta move, girl, or man, or whoever's watching this. We'll get some clarifiers here. What do we got? What do we even got here? So, what is the contemplation? I want to see what that is out of the actual book, because like I said, I haven't used these decks in such a long time. So this is right before the Wheel of Fortune, so it's right before things are about to change, but you have to stand your ground and be at peace with where you stand. But this contemplation is Chang'e, the Chinese moon goddess, was exiled to the moon because of her need to obtain divinity. With a white hare as her only companion, she spent much time alone contemplating life's mysteries. The meaning is the need to go within to gain knowledge, to own one's divinity, withdraw to better contemplate life. So this is the Hermit. That's who that is. Yeah, so it's like because that's the center of this reading, it's almost as though you had to, that's been the journey right now, is having to go within to really get a better understanding of what your inner foundation is. Because yes, I do see 2 people celebrating here with a beautiful castle in the background, reaching a milestone, but it's almost like that is the foundation you have with yourself, with your inner higher self. Because that's where anxiety comes from. It's when we take everyone else's considerations instead of allowing us to choose as we please. And that's what the 7 of Wands here. So it's a ripple effect. It's once you know deeply who you are and your truth, it becomes a ripple effect. You're more at peace. Both of these cards here are talking about inner peace and a strong inner foundation and strong conviction here. Moving away from the drama that might have happened in the past. This feels really good. I mean, even this image is, and she's a lunar goddess. It's trusting your own intuition. All right, now this deck is the one I haven't used in years. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles, Shaman. Shaman's journey is all about going within and really exploring different dimensions. So I feel like that's what this journey has been about for you. It's been a long time in hermit mode, and maybe it's time to put yourself in new situations. Look at this, 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups, 7, 7, and 3 of Cups. Maybe it's time to put yourself in new situations, to challenge yourself, to stand up to yourself. Not saying to jump into unnecessary drama, but saying, not being afraid to speak your own truth and state your own ideas, even if you know other people are going to disagree with you. 7 of Cups. So many options, and yet something feels bigger than life. I mean, look at this little tiny guy on this tiny boat compared to this giant Loch Ness monster. And yet, we're taught that the Loch Ness monster is the scary thing, but his face looks pretty peaceful and happy. He's chilling. He sees the man on the boat. He's not trying to eat him or destroy him or anything crazy like that. And of course, in the Seven of Swords, the cannibal, like this human man is clearly trying to eat this other human man. Oof. We are our own enemies. Sometimes what we perceive to be a monster is not, and who we perceive to be strong and steady is actually the monster. Ooh, it's really interesting that this came out under the Four of Wands. And then look at the sheep's face. It's like, don't be a sheep. He's eating sheep, so maybe that's why this guy's being eaten, because he's a sheep. It's about relying on your own foundation. Three of Cups over here with the witch. She's making her own concoction. Three of Cups is usually with two other people and they're celebrating, and she's with all of the elements and she's celebrating and creating, and this feels like a very active card, magical card. Your intuition and your curiosities are very strong. Spirit is asking you to be mindful of what you believe. Oh, what just fell on the floor? Queen of Swords. Yeah. Speak your truth. Look how strong this woman is. She looks like a giant. And yet she doesn't look scary. She looks strong. So there's a difference between having to put on this tough act and being mean to everyone versus just being happy, enjoying the sunshine, looking towards the future, but walking with the giant sword that you are able to protect yourself, and that sword is your truth. Your truth keeps you in alignment. Just as she's looking to that bird. The Hermit again. 9 and 9. Oh, Yeti, yeah, it's, and then of course the Shaman is right underneath, just as I was saying how you've been on this inner journey of contemplation, of really understanding your own truth, and it's allowing you to be okay with being different. You can be strong and feminine at the same time. It's like you're embodying your masculine and your feminine. You're trusting your intuition but you're also trusting your masculine to make those advances, take action. You're trusting the ebb and flow of the moon. You know when it's time to move, and you know when it's time to pause. This is beautiful. It's like you've created a really nice, yeah, look at that. I'm not going to take all these because there's a lot, but Queen of Cups wanted to be shown. You're following your heart. You're staying true to what you need emotionally. Maybe in the past you were too busy trying to please everyone and being the strong one, not wanting to let anyone down. Now you're like, wait, I don't want to let myself down. What's the whole point of this journey if I'm not in alignment with who I am and what I believe in? The Amazon woman. What else do we have here? Yeah, and then there's a snake coming out of the skull. This definitely signifies strong intuition. Whoa, I meant change, transformation. Your intuition is transforming. 2 cards, beautiful. 6 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. Oh, this is a great energy. And then we still have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. I love it. So 6 of Cups here is all about balancing give and take. And of course I notice the Lotus is coming up to the surface. You're blooming. You're coming up from the muddy waters, and you're learning to be in balance with the nature of things. So knowing that people will disagree with you, but you use that muddy water and perspective for your own growth. You're comfortable in your own skin now. I mean, look at her. She's naked. She's naked, but she's still covered. That's what I'm saying. You're allowing yourself to be seen, knowing that you're still protected, though. Long hair is always a sign of wisdom. You are protected by the wisdom that you've accumulated, knowing that you're always forever going to be growing, but you can still rely on the wisdom that you've accumulated. And the Nine of Pentacles here, that one is of independence. And it's funny that this is showing up as Frankenstein, because Frankenstein was put together by all kinds of pieces, and nobody expected him to come alive because he was made up of all these broken pieces, but he did come alive. And interestingly enough, I just read a quote regarding Frankenstein about how the only reason he's malicious is because he's miserable. And that's the thing. Once you come to peace with yourself and who you are, accepting all of these broken pieces and accepting that you are still whole just the way you are, you no longer have a need to be malicious. You're at peace. You stand your ground, but you're at peace. You know who you are. This is gorgeous. Wow. And that's, like I said, I haven't used these decks in such a long time, but I had a calling to use these mythical creatures. I almost said monsters. Maybe you've been, doing shadow work and facing your inner monsters and realizing, like I said, we are our own worst critics. It's not the external monsters that we perceive. They're gentle giants. Maybe that's what you learned about your inner demons, is they're just gentle giants that want to be known and understood. Seed. Yeah, you've been growing. Oh, this makes me want to cry. Fusion, openness, harmony, collaboration, and alignment. Yes, look at both of these are very nature outdoorsy. So yes, you're coming back into balance with nature, with your natural self. You've been watering this seed. Ooh. Secrets. Yeah, you've been allowing yourself to dive into your secrets and finding hidden treasures in them. Comply. You're no longer complying with old rules and old patterns that were used just to keep you in a bubble. You're letting yourself grow outside of the norm. Bell, call, wake up. Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen this card. Timing, deadline, synchronization, rhythm, and movement. Why did this stop me in my tracks? A call is going to stop you in your tracks. Huh. Timing, but this is at the beach. Maybe this will happen while you're at the beach? Can I know more about this bell? Or maybe this is saying that when you went within, that was your wake-up call. Tell me more about this bell, please, Spirit. Thank you. Chaos. Wow. Oh. So it's almost like whatever, I feel like this already happened. I feel like whatever wake-up call this was, it created chaos and instability. You're going to undo the instability. But you're grateful for the chaos that happened because it woke you up. Can I have one more for this chaos? And see, that's interesting. Sometimes your shadows will still come up and you'll have a moment of fear, but then you'll realize there's nothing you can't handle. Anniversary, yeah. This is becoming, oh, did something else slip over? It did. Determination. Yeah, it's almost like you see this as, initially it was chaotic and scary, and it scared you, but then you look back and you see it as such a blessing, because the struggle is what helped you learn deeply who you are. Passion, hobbies, preferences. Yeah, you learned more about what you want out of life and what matters to you and what doesn't need so much attention. What about this Seven of Wands and Six of Cups? 6, 7. Delivery. So it's almost like whatever opinion you're going to stand on is, oh, you're delivering a message of peace, and it restores balance in either home, work, romantic interest, family. Can you tell me more? Thank you. Care. Yeah, it's like you're setting boundaries out of love. And by doing so, you're teaching others that they too can set boundaries. And they're grateful that you set boundaries, because now they know that when they do receive your love and energy, it's coming from a place of want, not a place of obligation. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. We need, thank you. Book. Ooh, maybe some of you need to write a book on this to share your wisdom and your experience, because you've grown so much. I mean, look at, you started from this little flower out of the concrete asphalt, and now look at all these vines, just so much life from those experiences that you had. Flirt, seduce, lover, lust. Flirt with your own wisdom. That's a weird message. That's okay. It's flirting with your experience of life. Even the bad or perceived negative experiences, you're able to romanticize those experiences and see how they helped you help you become who you are today. Last but not least, 4 of Swords of 9 of Pentacles, exploration and spendthrift. So going within to be able to explore, but also not wasting the entire day doing so. Being able to know how to balance. Balance. I just said balance. How to balance your creative and your creative endeavors, as well as your business endeavors, to make, so it's almost, what I'm hearing is, don't let this exploration go to waste. Yeah. Oh, so all of this exploring that you've done thus far, there's something you're meant to do with it. And I mean, we have book right here. It's almost as Spirit is saying very specifically that you need to write a book. But let's see the last card that popped out. Courage. Ooh! Yeah, it's scary to put yourself out there and write a whole book and make that whole investment. But be brave. Go with the adventure. It's not a ship is meant to be sailed, not to stay in harbor. Love. Yes. As long as you lead with love, everything will be okay. This is gorgeous. If this resonated, let me know by subscribing or liking this video. I appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you.